2002's Resident Evil. So I'm going to start off this series Scuffle first with is the movie the trailer. So this trailer is ridiculous. It kind of gives away everything that Alice and Matt and Spence are slow-fed throughout the movie, to the point where it's like, well, the whole first 30 minutes of the movie are just recapping your knowledge about what the trailer told to you. So that's pretty obnoxious. I hate it when a trailer just gives you all of like the information about the things that the movie wants to obscure. On top of that, they also show you the zombies. They show you that, spoiler alert, somebody in the crew gets zombified. They show you the dogs. They show you the dogs, which are also like really cool thing that I think you should have seen only in the movie itself. And they show you the liquor, which is supposed to be the boss battle of this movie. They show way too much for me on this one. This trailer, if you watch this trailer, you can save your time because that's the movie. So with that being said, let's kind of do what the trailer did, except with more talking about the different things that happen. So the opening scenes are of this facility, and we see someone actively stealing this medical equipment that we will later learn is the T-virus, and also, spoiler alert, the T-cure. The person who is stealing it also throws one of the vials, the blue one, into one of the rooms, and it evaporates. And this causes the computer system, who we later find out is named Red Queen, to freak out and kill everyone in the facility to contain the contamination. So Resident Evil came out in 2002, and nothing screams that more than the music. So we cut to a woman taking a shower nap, which is our main character, Alice, played by Mila Jovovich, and is just like, I have no memory of this place. So she goes around and explores the mansion she woke up in. While exploring, she is eventually yanked into another room by our other main character, we will find out is named Matt. Shortly after he yanks her into another room, a SWAT team type shows up. And again, I made in my notes, this music is so 2000s because I'm a little obsessed with it. The main SWAT team guy, whose name is One, which I don't think they ever say his name in the movie. I literally had to look up names in IMDb. More on that later. So he grabs Alice and says, report soldier. So we know like she works with them, but she doesn't know who they are. Michelle Rodriguez's character, whose name is Rain, who we do know her name because other people say her name throughout the movie, so that's fine. She's arrested Matt, the guy who grabbed Alice, and is just like, well, who is this guy? And he's like, my name's Matt something or other. I'm a new transfer for the Raccoon City Police Department. And another person is like, we can't find him on file. But he's all like, oh, they probably don't have me on file because
I'm new in town.
But the way the actor delivers the line is just like him screaming, which like I get, like there's like a helicopter above them and stuff, but it sounds like this.
They probably don't even have me on file yet.
Acting. So, turns out this mansion is on top of a train station that leads to the facility from the beginning of the movie. So the SWAT team personnel and Alice and Matt, because they don't kill him, even though Rain wants to, they all go down to the train, and that's where we find Alice's fake husband, Spence. Okay. I'm gonna tell you everyone's names now because they don't give any kind of introductions past this point. Like, you're just kind of supposed to know all the commando people's names. So for our doomed crew, I'm going to go over the secret police. We have One, who is the main leader of the group guy, and I'm pretty sure they never say his name in the movie. If I'm wrong, link me the clip because I don't remember hearing it at all, and I've watched this movie twice now. Then there's Rain, who is played by Michelle Rodriguez, who is written like a stereotypical horny teenaged boy. But since a woman's saying it, it's less weird, but like... There's also JD, who is Rain's secret crush, but we don't know that till later when it's way too late anyways. Kaplan is the tech guy. There's also the medic, who is the medic. Then we have two who didn't even get names. They are only referenced in IMDb as Commando 1 and Commando 2. Not everybody gets dog tags here, I guess. It literally takes no time just to name a character, especially like one of them gets lines in the movie and they don't even bother to give him like, well, we never say his name, but his name is like Jonathan or Lando. You know, you could have given him not a name. You could have given him like, oh, that guy's secret special agent name was Food Bowl. But instead they just get Commando 1 and Commando 2. Like, I don't know why I have this pet peeve, but I think it's hella lazy writing to not even bother to just throw a fucking name generator up and name the characters who have lines, who like die in your movie. Give them names. What are you doing? Then there's Alice and Spence, who work for the same company. They have a fake marriage because they were supposed to be protecting the mansion from like invaders or whatever to get to the secret emergency entrance that they're all in like right now to go to the hive. And then there's Matt, who's a cop. So they get to the facility, and that's when one tells Alice and Spence about their fake marriage and why they're there and blah, 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 like emergency exit, protect them and stuff. He also tells them that they work for the Umbrella Corporation, which does classified research, if you will, and lets them know that their memory loss is due to the house's defense mechanisms because of what happened earlier with the computer killing everybody. The house also has its own like, no, but it didn't kill them. It just gave them a nerve gas type thing to knock them out. And it also has side effects of memory loss, which what if the commandos couldn't get there in time? Humanity's last stand was those two in the house because God forbid the Zambarinos get out. And those two are supposed to make sure they don't get out, and they're all like, who am I? So our group has made it to the hive now, which is the facility, that's what it's called. It looks like a beehive. And they tell us that the commandos are there in order to shut down the Red Queen, the computer system, because she murdered everybody, essentially, and they have to figure out what's going on. Also, they don't mention this till later, but there is a 2.5 hour time limit, or 3 hours, I don't really quite remember exactly, on their stay in the hive before the blast doors close, and then they just kind of die in the hive because that's where they are now. So they make it to what is labeled on their own maps as Dining Hall B, and it's clearly not a dining hall. It's clearly like a holding facility for some creature things. Like Alice goes in and stares at like one of like the little peepholes to see like, hey, you naked in there or what? And we are greeted to this lame as hell jump scare. Like, what is just existing there? I mean, like, I'm not gonna lie, I have very soft footsteps, and I do tend to terrify people by accidentally showing up behind them when they didn't know I was there. So, like, maybe he's just got really dainty footsteps. It was just such a lame jump scare, I can't get over it. I still think it's silly as hell. Also, at this point in my notes, I pointed out that the acting is so stiff. It is not good. So this is where the group splits up. JD, Rain, and Matt, who is their prisoner right now, all stay in Dining Room Hall B, where everyone else goes to the Red Queen's chamber to shut her ass down. So they get there and they have to bring this, like, thing into her, like, motherboard chamber, I guess. It sets off something that forces her to like shut down or restart or something like that, and during that time frame they have to take the motherboard out of the Red Queen so she can't reboot and continue to kill everyone. But first, Kaplan has to hack into her security system so they can go through this long hallway. Kaplan unlocks the hallway, and one makes it all the way down to the end, and he puts a little hacker tool on the side of it to hack into the chamber room. So Kaplan manages to hack through the chamber door, and Medic, Commando 1, and Commando 2 pick up a big bag and are gonna go help do the thing to shut down the big bad computer. And guess what happens? They get in the hallway and the door's shut. So, Medic, Commando 1, Commando 2, and 1 are all stuck in that hallway. What do you think is gonna happen to them? Do you think laser beams are gonna eliminate like more than half of the fucking commando crew? For the sake of I didn't actually click on the IMDb profiles to see which one was which, we're going to say the lasers took off Commando 1's fingers from like these like that. But it also takes off the medic's head. This CGI is something else. It didn't hold up well, I guess, essentially. But then there's a second laser coming for them, but this one's coming down low at their feet. And one stands up, and so does Commando 2. So Commando 2 is standing in front of 1, so they're standing like, ooh, right? And this is coming for their feet, and Commando 2 jumps to go over it, right? But the laser's like, nah, fuck you. And like chops him in the midsection. Rip Commando 2. I'm guessing Commando 1 in this sequence had gotten taken out by the feet level laser. It doesn't show it, but that's what I'm assuming. 1, it did this crazy like impressive. So of course while Kaplan is trying to hack the computer to make it stop trying to laser his friends, like Alice and Spence are like busy like yelling at him a little bit, which is, you know, so helpful in a stressful situation when two ding-dongs who don't even know who the fuck they are screaming at you. Anyways, the laser comes back round for 1, and 1 like takes this fighting position because he's gonna punch the laser, I guess. But anyways, he takes that position and the laser changes its mind and does like an extreme basket weave and just dices him because Kaplan can't get the door open because he's being screamed at by 2 dumb idiots. Kaplan's like, we have to finish the mission and do this to the Red Queen, and goes through the hallway, and Alice joins him. Spence is a little bitch and stays in the room. And they do the thing to the Red Queen. When they shut off the Red Queen, it was like, it looked like they went on like generator power or something. I don't remember how they said it worked, but like everything shut down and then it was just like emergency lights on and stuff, so. But anyways, Rain, JD, and assumingly Matt hear a noise, and Rain goes to check it out. She finds what she thinks is a survivor, but ma'am, that bitch a zombie. An altercation happens, and Rain gets bit in her hand, like took a chunk out of her hand. And JD joins them and is like, what the heck's going on? And he shoots her in both of her legs, because the first time he shoots her, she doesn't care. And then he tries again, she still doesn't care. Eventually, Rain gets her like fasty shooty gun, I don't know what it is called. Do not at me, I don't care what it's called. And then like takes her out. So Kaplan, Alice, and Spence meet up with JD, Rain, and Matt, and the group is back together again. And they kind of have to tell them that no one else is coming, and Rain is really mad about that, but she can't be mad for too long because they are surrounded by zombies. So now it's zombie shooting time, and a lot of shooting of zombies happens. And then eventually they get split up. There's an explosion. I forgot to mention the explosion. So JD, Rain, and Spence all go towards a door, and then Matt and Alice get split up and go this other way, but they're together. But don't pay attention to that because it doesn't matter. Okay, so for JD, Rain, and Spence, and Kaplan, I forgot to mention Kaplan was with JD, Rain, and Spence. All are at that door that I think is where they came from. And Kaplan is trying to open it by putting like the pin number in, but he can't really remember it properly and is freaking out because there's just a bunch of zombies coming at them. If I've learned anything, it's like, don't yell at someone who's trying to hack something or trying to remember a password for something. Obviously, it will get you killed in a zombie and or laser situation. So anyways, JD is trying to punch in the number and Kaplan is shooting zombies where JD was shooting zombies before, and Spence is doing fucking nothing because we really need to know that Spence is a lazy, lame, bad guy. Like it really cannot be understated how like of a bitch they wrote this character, which I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me because like Alice gets some of her stuff back even without remembering her whole past, but Spence just gets nothing and is just like, oh, your base level of human being is cowardly bitch who can also really cope with zombies well. Let's talk about what happens when they open the door. So, JD's trying to open the door, Spence is doing nothing, Kaplan's shooting zombies, and Rain is also shooting zombies with him, and there's one point where Rain shoots a zombie and he falls like this because she shot his feet. It's very funny, I think. Very funny to me. JD's like, what's the number? And Kaplan's like trying to scream it to him, but then Spence like walks over to Kaplan for no fucking reason to get the number, or I guess to intimidate him. I mean, to me, a dude who's screaming in my ear who's been like a little bitch this whole time is not as scary as the zombies that are in front of me, and also I'm the one with the gun. How about you fuck off? Anyways, I don't like how Spence was written. I think it was really weak, and I also don't like Spence. JD opens the door with the combination that Spence didn't even bother to walk back over to him to give to him, and he's all like, it was as easy as that, right? And then nope, turns out the door opens and there's like a terrifying amount of zombies behind that door. Like, that scene scared the shit out of me because I'm already pretty like claustrophobic in large groups of people, but like groups of people that are also zombies and will actively tear your skin off and your guts out and all this, like, oh, that's a big no-no for me. I didn't like it. Okay, so let's talk about where Alice and Matt were. There's CGI of one of the monsters that were contained in those boxes in Dining Hall B, escaping. It's the liquor. So we're meant to think like, oh no, it's hunting Alice and Matt. Don't worry about that. So somehow, Alice and Matt, after the explosion and them being together, got separated. So for this part, Alice goes to the animal experimentation lab area, and that's where we get to see the Cerberus. Them dog boys are here, which is great, and I thought their practical effects for the dogs were really good. But the doggos chase her into another room, and as soon as she gets into that room, boom, zombie. But it's okay, because remember how she's a secret agent? She roundhouse kicks him in the face, and then steals his gun because he was like the security officer. And a doggo comes through the window of that room, and when she leaves the room, there's like 20 of the doggos, and then we find out she's also an excellent shot. And then she runs away because the one that she shut the door of the room on comes out through the window he came in. But anyways, Matt is in like an office room of the building looking for a woman named Lisa and finds her in zombie form when she attacks him. It is a good thing that Alice is also entering the same room while he's being attacked and like kills this Lisa zombie person. So Alice had like 1 or 2 flashbacks before. I don't think I mentioned them, but she had flashbacks about being married to Spence and fucking him. Also talking to somebody in a graveyard about how she can get them into the hive to steal the T-virus. And in this part, she sees this zombie woman that she just killed and has the flashback of the one in the grave and remembers that that was the woman she conspired with, and that's all she remembers. Matt lets her know that that woman was his sister. Gonna get awkward. He also reveals that he's not really a cop, surprise, surprise, and that he and his sister were working to reveal all of Umbrella Corporation's illegal genetic research, and that's why she wanted to get the T-virus out to the public, but not like out to the public, but like, hey, this is what they're doing. He believes that maybe her inn betrayed her, and this is why all this happened. Which, like, seems like a kind of a big reach to me. Like, yeah, sure, her inn could have betrayed her, but why would their inn also allow an outbreak like this? Why wouldn't they have just turned her into Umbrella Corp and then she could have been like their human test subjects? I mean, I understand you're emotional, Matt. Your sister is a zombie and then is also now a dead zombie. Like, that's a fucking lot to process. But at the same time, like, come on, man. So Rain, Kaplan, and Spence changed their mind from going out the way they came and going into the Red Queen chamber area. Matt and Alice meet up with the group. They're all talking about how they're going to escape. Spence is like, let's wait for backup. And then everybody's like, oh, Lamau, we didn't tell you, but there's no backup coming. And also we only have like X amount of time before this place locks its blaster doors and we're fucked. Realizing that all of the doors they can go through are not available, Alice takes it upon herself to begin to restart the Red Queen. Kaplan sets up a device so they have a kill switch in case she doesn't want to help them out and will like let all the zombies into the room because she would have that power. They turn the Red Queen back on, to see like if there's any alternative like routes they can take. So the visualization for the Red Queen is a hologram of a tiny child, and she sounds like a British tiny child, which is just this CGI that they have for a holographic tiny child, all in red, is just so gross looking. And I'm sorry to say, but a lot of British kids to me just sound like they have no fucking emotion whatsoever. They just sound all like, yeah, okay, we're gonna be killing you, it's fine, don't worry about it. And everybody's like, oh, what a posh little accent you have. And I'm always like, so anyways, this soulish British hologram child tells us about what the T-virus does to the human body. It basically makes you into zombies, and she says so without saying zombies. Also, she lets us know that the only way to get rid of them is to sever their spinal cord, aka headshots, bitch. But Kaplan's like, we have a kill switch, so if you don't listen to us, we will kill you. And she's like, okay. And then it goes to the next scene where apparently she has given them directions to how to leave the hive safely without getting into zombie issues.
Secret tunnel! Secret tunnel!
So they're in the secret tunnels. I mean, I guess they're not so secret if you're like maintenance, because I'm pretty sure like they're the shithole tunnels, and also they bring electricity and all this other stuff to the different places of the hive, because everyone who works in the hive lives in the hive. Like, it's a whole underground nonsense factory. But so they're walking through the tunnels, and somebody gets upsetty spaghetti because they're like, we've been walking forever, and I feel like she's not giving us the right directions because she wants us killed. Oh, it was Spence who got upsetty spaghetti, and somebody else got upsetty spaghetti at Spence and like shoved him like, up against a grate, and then zombies. And they have to figure out how they are going to handle this situation, because now there's zombies everywhere in the tunnels. And they're like, oh, well, we can go up top on top of these like, what are they called? Circular tube guys? I don't know what they're used for, but they can climb up there and like walk that way. So they all kind of do. And Kaplan, while he's trying to go up, gets bit in the leg by some Zambarinos. Rain at this time also has to confront the fact that JD, he is a zombie, because he shows up and she's the only one down there. And then he bites her in the neck, and then she shoots him in the head, and then she gets up. So everybody's up on these tubes. The group continues on walking on top of the pipes towards wherever the Red Queen gave them directions towards. As they're walking, the Zambarinos are like smacking the side of a tunnel. Of the pipes, not the tunnel. Eventually it gets looser and looser and looser because it's just held up by, not string, but it's probably like metal string. Right before they reach their exit, the pipe thing falls down, because of course it does, because we have to create tension. Spence, Rain, Matt are like ahead of everybody, so they're already in the exit. We almost lose Alice. Kaplan falls into the overwhelmingly amount of zombies. Again, terrifying. I fucking hate it. I don't want to see it, but here we are, seeing the claustrophobia of too many human bodies that want to eat your human body, like right there, and I'm no thank you. So Kaplan finds another like downed pipe that he is able to climb up to. There's a moment here where they're like, we can get you, we'll just get this rope over to you and you can just swing over, it'll be fine. And has like, no, that's not gonna happen, bud. Has to tell everyone to go on without him, and then realizes he only has one bullet left. We're given a like, oh, is he gonna KO himself or no? And the answer is no, he doesn't KO himself. So he's not dead, and everybody else is moving on. So we have made it back to the science room area, like where the dogs were, and Rain is not doing good at all. She looks not great. She can't really walk on her own. She's throwing up. Smart to show like the slow buildup of like what the T-virus can do to you once you've been bit like 50 times. I feel like she's been bit 50 times. It's probably like 4. Alice has like a flashback, and she remembers that blue is for infection and green is for the cure. So she's like, oh my god, guys, there's a cure, we can help Rain. So Alice leads everybody into the room of where the T-virus and T-cure are being held. And she reveals to Matt that she was his sister's contact, and he's all like, did you set her up? And she's like, I don't remember. And he's like, tell me the truth. And she's like, I don't remember the truth. So dramatic. Just maybe maybe wait until you remember what happened to tell him, or I don't know, man. Because he does hold them up. Like, he does grab Alice and is like, tell me now. Because obviously you would want to interrogate that person. You're only holding up the party by letting this drama out now when the party needs you to not do that immediately. Time is of the essence, Alice. Shut your fucking mouth. So she goes to the part of the room that has the virus and the cure in it, only to find that somebody's already stolen it, like we all already know. And then we get another super dramatic 2000s movie music. And Spence has a flashback. Spence was spying on his fake wife and found out that her and Lisa had that plan and that he was gonna do it instead. Spence gets a hold of what I think is Rain's gun. I'm not sure whose gun it is. I don't remember. And he's all like, Alice, you can join me. We can make a bunch of money. And she's all like, is that why you think all my dreams were gonna come true? And he's all like, well, yeah, that's why I stole it, because I stole it for us. This is really awkward because neither of them are working on their full memories. They're only working on those specific sets of memories. So he doesn't remember why he fell in love with her, and she doesn't remember why and or if she fell in love with him. So it's like, oh boy, it's weird. But I guess they know enough to know.
If you're gonna be dumb, you gotta be tough.
Suspense goes into, like, you know, the stereotypical bad guy dialogue and whatever. Also, the actor goes in and out of accents, and he's like, yeah, and you're out. So Alice dumps his ass, and right after she dumps his ass, a zombie bites him in the neck. So I mean, like, what a bad day that man is having. He gets away out of this room and breaks the doorknob, I guess, so they're trapped in this room. And it turns out that this room itself is so close to the train station. Spence gets there to go give himself the T-virus cure. And everybody that's stuck in the room are pretty upset, like, how can he get away with this? And then the Red Queen shows up and she's like, but he didn't! Woo! And they're like, what are you talking about? And she's like, I've been a naughty girl. And it's like, no, stop, don't say that. And then the Red Queen puts up on the monitor a fucking snuff film of Spence being killed by the liquor. The Red Queen talks about, like, yeah, and now since it's eaten new DNA, it's gonna mutate. Cool. And they're like, why didn't you tell us? And Alice is like, because she was saving that monster for us. And the Red Queen's like, haha, got me. I didn't think that you guys were gonna live this long, but I had an insurance plan in case you guys were going to make it out, because I have to make sure that this contamination doesn't reach outside no matter what, which, like, kind of doesn't work though, because the blast doors are still open and the liquor is still out, closest to where you have to leave. So technically, she was not doing her fucking job, because if she was doing her fucking job, she would have just lied to them, shut the blast doors. They would have had no way to know that the blast doors were shut until they got there. And then they would just, kill switch her and the liquor would be there anyways? Like, problem fucking solved, bitch. She said she'll give them the passcode because they need a passcode to get out of the room if they kill Rain, because Rain is infected. Then the liquor shows up there and is like beating down some glass, and Rain's like, fuck it, just kill me. Alice takes an axe that was in the room and is like holding it like, oh, I'm gonna kill her. Rain is shouting, kill me. The Red Queen is shouting, kill her. And this scene goes on for way too fucking long. I was so annoyed both times watching it with how long it was, like this tiny British child screaming, kill her at Alice. Kaplan shows up and kills the Red Queen, which is great because, like, enough is enough. So obviously you open the door and everyone leaves. They get to the train station area and Alice is like, I'll get the virus, you guys go ahead. Her fake husband Spence becomes a zombie and she gets to kill him. So no divorce proceedings there, I guess. So Alice brings the T-virus and T-virus cure onto the train and the train starts going. Rain and Kaplan both get their shots to cure the T-virus in their systems. Rain and Alice have like a moment together where Rain is like, if this doesn't work, kill me, because I don't want to be like one of those Zamborino types with no soul and whatnot. Alice is like, that's not gonna happen, don't worry. And then Rain fake dies and Alice like gets ready to shoot her in the head, and just as she's about to pull the trigger, Rain like stops her. Like, ma'am, don't fake dead when you know this woman has perfect aim and will kill you. And then just when you think everything is safe and sound, our heroes are going to get out. No, the liquor attacks the train. So Kaplan's dead. Basically what happens is the liquor tries to fight Matt and Alice. It tries to get Alice, but then she like pierces its tongue into a grate that's on the train, and she's all like, open the doors, because the bottom of the train has openable doors that the liquor is conveniently standing over. And when Matt goes to do that, Rain is now a zombie. He uses this time to shoot Rain in the head, and Rain falls back and hits the button to open the doors, and then the liquor's on the train tracks and like lights on fire and is dead. At some point in their fight, Matt was scratched by the liquor. So the liquor's dead, and Matt and Alice have made it out of the facility just in time. They made it past those blast doors and up into the mansion. They get into the mansion. Alice has like an existential crisis kind of thing, like, I should have done something about this. This didn't need to happen, etc. And Matt's all like, don't worry about it. But he's also like twitching at the arm because he's infected. Alice is like, I'm not gonna lose you too, and opens the thing to give him the cure. And just as she's going to give him the cure, the front doors of the mansion open and a whole bunch of dudes in white hazmat suits come in and take them both away. We get like a whiteout screen, and during the whole time we're being told like Matt is going to be in the Nemesis program because he's mutating, and we should take blood samples from Alice and monitor her in the raccoon hospital facility, and also that they are going to be reopening the hive to see what happened down there. Sounds like a good idea. You could just ask these two ding-dongs that just were in the mansion about it, or not, I guess. We are shown that Alice is in a facility with these things like hooked up to her, which look very painful. She pulls them out of her and does a bunch of screaming. It's shown she's in an observation type room. She's screaming to be let out. No one lets her out, so she takes one of the needles that were formerly in her body, somehow uses it to open the slide key door, and then she leaves and escapes the hospital and goes outside and sees just a bunch of cars in the street like crashed into each other, and there's like random things on fire, and hears ambient background noises of zombies. And the music is very hype. Oh boy, is it like super about it. And honestly, I thought the shot was a pretty good shot for a sequel. Like, I don't know, call me trash or whatever, but like just her standing in the middle of like, oh wow, that looks like a bunch of suck. Good luck, what are you gonna do here? Is like, well, yes, I would like to see what is she going to do there. Okay, so welcome to the shortest part of this video. It is the ranking part, because like it's the only one that I've watched so far. Overall, I thought the movie was fine. It is what it is. It is of its time. It's a video game movie from the early 2000s. So anyways, everyone, thank you so much for watching this video. Please leave it a like if you liked the video. Please let me know in the comments section any disagreements or agreements or anything else like that you have in the comments below. I really want to hear what you guys think about this movie if you've seen it yet. If you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing. To all of my subscribers, thank you guys so much. I super appreciate you guys. Social media links are in the description below if you want to follow me on that at all. Also, definitely follow my Twitter to find out whatever the new stuff I'm doing, because that's where I announce projects and stuff. Like, if you didn't know this, I was on a podcast recently, and by the time this video comes out, that podcast is definitely out too, and you should listen to it. Link to that also in the description below. Anyways, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye! Annoying. Where the fuck was I? What the fuck are they called? Tubes. Stuff. And then he just starts to